The United Nations says the amount of humanitarian aid entering Gaza has decreased by 2/3 since Israel began its military operation in Rafah earlier this month. The Israeli military says it has established full operational control over the Fideli corridor along the Gaza-Egypt border, discovering dozens of rocket launchers and at least 20 cross-border smuggling tunnels. A national security advisor to Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he expects the war against Hamas to continue for at least another 7 months. Let's go to Jerusalem now and speak to our Middle East correspondent Yolande Nell. Yolande, can you tell us more about this Fideli corridor and what Israel says it has found there? Yes, this is the 14 km strategically important strip of land on the Gaza-Egypt border. The Israelis say they now have effective control of the corridor, having found multiple rocket launchers and launch sites. They estimate around 70 rockets and mortars have been fired from the Rafah area in recent weeks, with some launch sites located close to the Egyptian border to avoid Israeli retaliation. They've also discovered around 20 tunnels used for smuggling weapons into Gaza. This situation is likely to increase tensions between Israel and Egypt. Egypt is concerned that Israeli forces may try to maintain a long-term presence along this border. Egyptian security sources claim that the tunnels are being used as an excuse by Israel to justify its Rafah offensive, stating they have effectively managed smuggling tunnels over the past decade. Thank you, Yolande. Now we can speak to British Army veteran and chief executive of the intelligence company Smuggling, Justin Crump. Justin, how significant is it that Israel now controls this area of the border? It's a very important piece of ground for Israel. Any military force attacking an adversary aims to cut off their supply routes. Israel suspects that supplies for Hamas were coming through the Gaza-Egypt border, and controlling this border helps to cut off these supplies and stop Hamas from using the area to launch attacks. It also increases tension between Israel and Egypt, as both sides have historical conflicts and agreements regarding this border. Additionally, Israel's national security advisor says the war against Hamas is expected to continue for at least another 7 months. What are your thoughts on this? The military phase is often just the beginning. After the fighting, there is the challenge of rebuilding and securing the area. The U.S. has emphasized the need for a plan for the day after the fighting stops. Israel is unlikely to achieve a complete military victory against Hamas that brings peace and stability. This conflict could continue for many years at varying levels of intensity. Like, share, subscribe.